What we're trying to do here is a film that's totally different, and I think the Muppets are puppets and they're cute and caricatured, and what we're doing here is an entirely different kind of a thing. The entire film is, well, you can tell just by the look of these things that it's not related at all to the Muppets, and we don't want the audience going in expecting to see Kermit and Piggy, because what they'll get is something very, very different.
There is one way to describe this movie if you describe it in the terms of Yoda or E.T. It is a movie entirely of Yodas and E.T.s, if you want to describe it as such. There's not one human in it. There's no animation whatsoever in it. It's really that kind of movie with all these creatures.
In effect, when you look at them up close, they are wonderful. They are artistic creations. And we had a marvelous group of craftsmen, sculptors, jewelers, all kinds of leather workers. And they had done such wonderful work on this film, and we wanted to put it out where people could see it. And we feel, in effect, that there is no real value in making this a surprise thing. I think E.T. they wanted to have the surprise of what this creature was. And from our standpoint, this is the value of the film. We don't want to keep it a secret what people would go to see. You know, we want them to know that this is what this film is all about.
These creatures you see in the movie are performed mainly by one person, but that one person has a backup of about 2 to 4 people. And to get all that working, get all the technical stuff out of the way so you can start then having fun with the character and the lines and the excitement. I think that was the hard part, getting all the technical elements out of the way, getting all the coordination of those 3 to 5 people together and making sure everything worked. It's all the technical stuff and start having fun with it. That was the hard part, I think.
I remember when I first started working on this, Star Wars had just opened. Actually, I was working on it before Star Wars. And then when Star Wars came along, I said, oh, well, it's sort of like Star Wars. And that it's an adventure and it takes place in a different world. And all of a sudden, that was a handle that people could, and it's nothing like Star Wars. I didn't mean to say that.
What did this cost to make?
Generally, we're avoiding questions about how much a film costs. It was an expensive picture.
Oh, we'd understood it was somewhere between 20, 25 million, like that.
Yeah.
I think
you were avoiding it. It's funny. You were avoiding it. It is because it's about 2025. But I don't know. I get annoyed these days talking about the cost of a film because that's not what you do a film for. You really don't. I mean, if you really do a film, if you want to make money, you don't do a film because it's always a gamble. And so you're really doing a film because it excites you and because it's such an undertaking and you put so much into it. So that's why we're just kind of avoiding talking about it.
I think all expensive movies have been hurt by talking about the budget. If you go to see a film and you say, as you walk in the door, let's see if this film is worth $20 million.
Yes. Okay,
no film is worth $20 million. There's no such thing.
Yeah. And yet in our case, you see, when we work with these characters, we're creating our own stars. We're making our own movie stars. And so, and also the technical problems involved in getting this shot adds about 25% more time to the shooting. So there are also, in our case, the reasons why the costs are high. But anyway, it's just as Jim said, you don't necessarily want to talk about all that money because it doesn't mean a lot. What you want to do is just get it on the screen and show people.
The story itself doesn't lend itself to a sequel. We will not follow it with a sequel to this picture. You could tell another story in the same world, but the story itself is complete.